explosives within the supposedly secure facility, exposing a devastating vulnerability at the heart of Somalia's military. The blast tore through the parade ground, scattering bodies and debris, dissolving order into chaos. In an instant, the hopeful energy of the morning was replaced by terror, confusion, and heartbreak. This was not just an attack on a military site, but a direct assault on Somalia's aspirations for peace, stability, and a future free from violence. The academy, a symbol of national pride, was left scarred and silent. Within hours, the militant group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility, making clear their intent to undermine the nation's future and instill fear in the hearts of its people. The aftermath was grim and haunting. The parade ground, once filled with the sounds of drills and marching boots, now echoed with cries of the wounded and desperate calls for help. Medics rushed to tend to the injured, their uniforms stained with blood and dust. Survivors, dazed and shaken, scrambled to help their fallen comrades, forming human chains to carry the wounded to safety. In the midst of chaos, acts of courage and solidarity emerged. The attack highlighted the immense challenges Somalia faces in its ongoing fight against a resilient and ruthless insurgency. Security forces were placed on high alert, and the city braced for further unrest. For Mogadishu, it was another day of mourning, a stark reminder of the high price paid in the struggle for the country's soul. Families gathered to grieve, their sorrow mingling with anger and uncertainty about what the future might hold. The tragedy underscored the dangerous path ahead for Somalia's government and people, who must now find the strength to rebuild, to heal, and to continue their fight for a peaceful tomorrow. To understand these attacks, we must know Al-Shabaab. This group is not just a collection of militants, but a deeply entrenched organization with a complex history and far-reaching ambitions. Their actions have shaped the security landscape of Somalia and the wider Horn of Africa for nearly 2 decades. Emerging in the mid-2000s as the youth wing of the Islamic Courts Union, Al-Shabaab evolved into a violent jihadist group after the court's ouster. The group quickly filled the power vacuum left by the collapse of the Islamic courts, gaining support among some communities by promising order and justice, even as they imposed strict and often brutal interpretations of Islamic law. Aligned with Al-Qaeda, they've waged a relentless insurgency for over 15 years, seeking to impose their harsh version of Sharia law. Their alliance with global jihadist networks has given them access to training, funding, and a broader ideological framework, making them more dangerous and resilient. They target anyone linked to the government, viewing them as enemies. This includes politicians, soldiers, civil servants, and even ordinary citizens who cooperate with authorities. Their attacks are designed to intimidate and destabilize, sending a clear message that no one is beyond their reach. Military sites like Jaalle are prime targets. Striking them weakens the army and spreads fear. By attacking these heavily fortified locations, Al-Shabaab demonstrates its operational capabilities and undermines the morale of security forces, while also gaining international attention. Each attack is propaganda, projecting strength and eroding public confidence in the state. Al-Shabaab uses media and social networks to amplify the impact of their violence, recruiting new members and spreading their ideology far beyond Somalia's borders. Al-Shabaab funds itself through extortion, illicit trade, and taxing rural territories, creating a war economy. Their financial networks are sophisticated, allowing them to buy weapons, pay fighters, and maintain influence in areas where the government's presence is weak or non-existent. This financial independence sustains their operations and recruitment. By offering salaries and social services, they attract young men with few other opportunities, further entrenching their power in local communities. Their rigid ideology, strategic targeting, and robust finances make them a persistent threat to Somalia and the region. Al-Shabaab's adaptability and ability to exploit local grievances ensure that their influence remains strong despite ongoing military campaigns against them. The group's endurance is rooted in both violence and a sophisticated support network. As long as these networks remain intact, Al-Shabaab will continue to pose a formidable challenge to peace and stability in Somalia and beyond. The Jaalle attack was executed with chilling precision, sending shockwaves through the military community and the nation at large. In the early morning hours, as the sun rose over the academy, the base was bustling with activity, soldiers preparing for the day, recruits gathering for assembly, and officers overseeing the routine. Disguised in a military uniform, the bomber infiltrated the base with calculated intent. He moved among the ranks, blending in seamlessly with the crowd. The timing was deliberate. He struck during the morning assembly, a moment when the largest number of soldiers would be gathered together, maximizing the potential for devastation and loss. However, alert recruits noticed something was amiss. Their vigilance and quick thinking led them to challenge the intruder before he could reach the center of the assembly. This forced the attacker to detonate his explosives prematurely, a split-second decision that, while still tragic, prevented an even greater catastrophe and saved countless lives. The explosion tore through the ranks, leaving the ground littered with the dead and wounded. Uniforms were shredded, blood stained the earth, and the air was filled with cries for help. The chaos and devastation in the aftermath were overwhelming, as emergency responders rushed to the scene. Survivors, many of them dazed and injured themselves, instinctively rushed to help their comrades. Amid the smoke and confusion, acts of bravery and compassion emerged. Soldiers carrying the wounded, offering first aid, and comforting those in shock. The sense of unity and resilience was palpable, even in the face of such horror. Within hours, Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack, releasing statements and propaganda to frame their actions as a resistance against foreign influence and the Somali government. Their swift response was designed to amplify fear and assert their presence on the national stage. Through these narratives, Al-Shabaab seeks to legitimize violence, attract new recruits, and maintain their grip on vulnerable communities. Their propaganda glorifies such attacks, attempting to inspire others to follow in their footsteps. This was not the first time the academy had been targeted. Previous assaults reveal Al-Shabaab's persistent focus on symbolic and strategic targets, aiming to undermine the morale of the military and the confidence of the public. The methodical planning behind these attacks demonstrates both the group's intelligence capabilities and their utter disregard for human life. Each operation is carefully orchestrated with months of surveillance and preparation. The Jaalle attack stands as a grim echo of Somalia's ongoing struggle, a stark reminder of the challenges faced by those who serve and the resilience required to endure in the face of relentless violence. In the aftermath, chaos and courage collided at the academy. Survivors and staff risked their lives to rescue the wounded, improvising first aid with whatever they had. Emergency vehicles and citizens rushed to help, overwhelming hospitals with casualties. The city responded with solidarity. Hundreds donated blood, and medics worked tirelessly. Security forces launched investigations, searching for answers and tightening security across Mogadishu. The attack exposed vulnerabilities but also revealed the resilience and unity of the Somali people. Amid devastation, acts of bravery and compassion shone through. The attack's deepest impact was on Somali families, sons, brothers, and fathers lost in an instant. Families flocked to hospitals and morgues, desperate for news, many facing heartbreaking loss. Survivors carry psychological scars, haunted by the trauma of witnessing friends die. The attack dealt a blow to army morale and deepened the country's humanitarian crisis. Hospitals already strained struggled to treat the wounded. For families who lost breadwinners, the economic fallout is severe, pushing many into deeper poverty. The violence ripples through society, leaving lasting wounds. Al-Shabaab's brutality extends far beyond the battlefield, touching every corner of Somali life. The Somali government responded swiftly. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud condemned the attack and vowed intensified counter-terrorism efforts. International partners, including the African Union, US, and Turkey, expressed solidarity and pledged support. These alliances provide vital training, intelligence, and medical aid. The attack was a stark reminder of the shared dangers faced by Somali and international forces. Despite past offensives, Al-Shabaab's resilience remains a challenge. The government's vow signals a new chapter in a long, difficult war. International support is crucial, but the fight ahead is complex and demanding. The tragedy has galvanized both national and international resolve. The attack exposed serious flaws in Somalia's security apparatus. A suicide bomber's infiltration points to failures in vetting, security, and possible insider threats. Corruption within the security sector, sold uniforms, lax protocols, creates vulnerabilities Al-Shabaab exploits. Deep reforms are urgently needed, better training, accountability, and counterintelligence. Al-Shabaab's shift to urban attacks reflects their adaptation to military pressure in rural areas. These high-profile strikes aim to undermine public trust and project strength. The group's intelligence network in Mogadishu is alarmingly effective. The government must balance rural offensives with stronger urban security and intelligence. It's a complex battle requiring resources, reform, and vigilance. The academy bombing is just one piece of Somalia's complex security puzzle. The government struggles to extend authority beyond Mogadishu, with Al-Shabaab controlling vast rural areas. Military offensives, often with clan militias, have retaken some ground. But holding territory is difficult. International partners provide crucial support, but coordination is a constant challenge. Political infighting and clan rivalries further complicate efforts, sometimes benefiting militants. Lasting security requires more than military action. It demands national reconciliation and fair resource distribution. Al-Shabaab thrives where government is absent and services are lacking. True victory means following military gains with governance, justice, and jobs. Without this, any cleared territory risks falling back under militant control. The Jaalle attack is a painful setback, but not the end of Somalia's journey. Amid tragedy, the resilience of soldiers, medics, and citizens shines through. The nation's spirit of solidarity is its greatest weapon against extremism. Moving forward, Somalia must learn from this tragedy, reform security, improve intelligence, and fight corruption.